Nobody believed it was a robot. Everybody believed it was real.
If we can build a robot dolphin like this, then why not tigers that we can touch, or sharks we can actually swim with? Maybe even dinosaurs.
The sharks avoided it, the turtles were terrified of it, the small fish schooled underneath it, but the dolphins can echolocate.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Rain Reviews the Internet. We have here episode 4. We're going to be talking about robots. I wanted to talk about this a long time ago, but other stuff kept popping up, and even to this day, more stuff is popping up. You know, you guys have probably heard about this basketball player getting finessed by this woman, and I've been pretty still going back and forth, and then Michael Bisping gets attacked by some dude on the streets, and it's like all these things drawing my attention that these other content creators are making videos and podcasts about. But, you know, like I said, I didn't want to jump into drama on this channel. So we're just going to try to talk about interesting things. Here, I have some new video ideas in the making in the future. And we're going to try to find some better direction into different types of videos that we can make. Maybe reviewing different TV shows. Just trying to find some lighter, funner content. But for now, I want to check out robots. We have here Elon Musk reveals a Tesla bot. I have heard other people talking about this one for a minute as well. I'm just interested to see what all the hype is about. So we're going to jump right into the video right now. Before we get started though, if you like the video, please like the video. That's what the like button is for. If you want to see more of my content, then hit the subscription button. If you want to be notified whenever I make a new video, then hit the bell icon next to the subscription button. And as always, let me know your thoughts below in the comment section. I'm eager to hear from you guys about how I can improve and what you liked or didn't like about the video. Anyways, here we go. Let's see what Elon Musk has to present to the world today to trip everyone out. Okay, what in the actual fuck, dude? You know Elon's ear to ear about this. He's like, this is going a lot better than the whole Tesla truck thing whenever I threw the baseball into the window. This is going a lot better than that. You know, like, this is amazing. I'm not going to lie. This dude, like, I'm thinking he's going to come out and start doing the robot, you know, just kind of like as a play on the fact that it's a robot. He's going to start moving in like little jerky movements. Like, no, he is all out here like dancing better than 99% of people I know, or she. I don't know what the robot is. It's a robot, okay? This is insane, man. I mean, I imagine that the reason it has a suit on is because, you know, it doesn't have a completed outer shell. And maybe they don't really know what direction they want to take the outer shell in just yet to make it look like anything. And plus, you know, with the whole PC culture, you know, like, oh, why does it have to be this color? Why does it have to be this? Like, you know, like, it was a good idea to do it the way he did it. Plus, it's sort of on brand with the whole Tesla look as well. You know, it should look like a robot. I think it was a good choice to do it the way they did it. But this is amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't expecting anything like this. You know, I really was hoping to see it do something useful. But the dancing at least shows what its motions are capable of doing. I mean, that's complex movement. You know, very accurate and delicate, precise movements rapidly. So I don't know. There's a lot of balance involved in that. I mean, I'm still not super impressed by a lot of this robot stuff, though, because everything I've seen any robots do as of now, it's all seemed like something that you could program it to do, right? Like, so there's a set of actions that we want you to perform, and if you go out and do it in a controlled environment, then it looks like it could be real. It could, you could set up a conversation just by writing up what you want the robot to say back and forth between you know, whenever you say something to it, this is how it responds, and so on and so forth. And so every time it gets this command that says, hey, how are you doing? And the robot would say, I'm fine, how are you? And you could have a full-blown, seemingly realistic conversation in a controlled environment where there's no going off of the script, and it would look like a super, a human, a robot that's, imitating a human very well, but the reality is it's just a set of commands. So far, this is only proven to be that. We need to see it be able to do things on the fly, and what happens whenever the controlled environment is compromised. Can it react to something that's off script is what I'm interested in. That, and what can it do that's particularly useful.
All right. Thank you.
You see what I mean? Like, he knew when the song or the dance was over, and he's like, okay, thank you. It's over, right? And of course, coincidentally, the robot is done dancing.
Now, unlike Jojo, obviously that was not real. And it's intended to be friendly, of course, and navigate through a world built for humans, and eliminate dangerous, repetitive, and boring tasks. We're setting it such that it is...
All right, so off rip, I know y'all probably noticed this, and I'm not really sure what these points are on the left. He's probably going to get into some sort of detail here, but it says there at the bottom, eliminates, already not a good word to be using when you're talking about robots, but, we'll just keep it pushing. I don't know. I mean, you figure after the whole baseball into the window thing, he'd be a bit more careful. But, I figured this is what he would do. This is Elon. He does these sorts of things. But eliminates dangerous. All right, second, obviously another great word to be using, Elon. I don't know what to tell you, man. Who writes this for him? Eliminates dangerous, repetitive, boring tasks. Okay. I'm not sure how that's programmed in there, but it just seemed like something that could go super sideways is all I'm saying. Yeah, and I read somewhere it was like, oh, well, the robot poses this danger to us, right? Or potential danger to us. And then they're like, well, it's only 5'8" and 125 pounds. It's not meant to be able to harm us, right? Like it says carrying capacity over here at 45 pounds, and it can deadlift at 150 pounds. So, like, it could probably pick up and carry, some humans. I mean, it can at least pick them up. It can't carry them, it seems like, but it can pick up some humans and carry babies for sure. Arms extended lift. Yeah, that's an important one. 10 pounds. Speed 5 miles per hour. I don't know. Let me see it do some of these things. It's supposed to be friendly. Don't know how you define that. All right, let's continue.
At a physical level, you can run away from it.
That's what I was talking about.
And most likely overpower it. So,
Most likely overpowered. I think you might be overestimating, or rather underestimating, how unhealthy and unfit Americans are growing with each day. But sure, yeah, most for now can, until people want the upgraded version of it, or people start upgrading the robots themselves. I mean, like like you have like the first car wasn't a sports car. You know what I'm saying? The first, you know, they came up with just basic cars to get you from point A to point B, and they were like, oh well, now we need a family friendly car. Now we need this. Well, we have, like, Raptors now. We have, Boss Mustangs now. Like, we have cars that go 200 miles per hour and stuff. Like, yeah, it starts like this, but there's eventually going to be a super version of this because people want the latest and greatest. Like, oh, this one lifts 150 pounds. Well, this one lifts 250 pounds, and it costs more because it's stronger, and we need a stronger robot or whatever, right? Or just has more capabilities. I'm just saying that, like, the need, the desire that's, what's the word I'm looking for? The inherent desire built into capitalism will force products like this to evolve. It's built on greed and the desire for more and better and greater, and that's what pushes innovation in America, right? And so if this genuinely does become a thing, then you have to believe there will be new and improved versions of it. Everything that you see here as a stat here will be higher. It might be taller, carrying capacity higher, heavier weight or lighter weight, whichever people perceive as better, faster, etc. And even here on the left, there will be more things to lift out as bullet points in terms of improvements.
hopefully that doesn't ever happen, but you never know.
And it being dangerous or not is not really the top of people's list. Like, people bought vehicles in the past that the engines exploded. Like, the cars have randomly combusted and people still bought the cars. We know that strapping, supercharging a Z06 is not probably the smartest thing in the world to do because it's going to make the car a bit more dangerous. But people still drive dangerous vehicles down the road. And, car accidents are one of the leading causes of death. People still soup their cars up and jack them up and do dangerous things and their vehicles all the time. You think that a robot being more or less dangerous is going to keep people from wanting to appear as though they have more money than another person? Like, people are about that life here in America. They love flashing the fact that they have more money and a perceived prestige than another person. They'll buy a more expensive robot for that reason. They don't care.
Without explicit, like, line-by-line instructions, can you talk to it and say, please pick up that bolt and attach it to the car with that wrench, and it should be able to do that. It should be able to, please go to the store and get me the following groceries.
I'm assuming that dojo training here at the bottom, I'm assuming that's some sort of software that I don't know anything about. I don't know why it needs to have dojo training. Like, completely harmless. It's just a, third degree black belt.
This, I think, will be quite profound, because if you say, like, what is the economy? It is, at the foundation, it is labor. So what happens when there is, no shortage of labor?
Right.
This is why I think long term that there will need to be universal basic income.
You'll have an economy ran by robots, and basically an economy that doesn't need humans. I mean, it's the same thing with, like, okay, you have these self-checkout stations in Walmart, and they're replacing cashiers, right? So there's less and less cashiers than ever before, and particularly in Walmart. So it eliminates jobs and replaces them with machines, which it's not new. the idea of capital equipment decreasing the need for human resources, that's something that's been used for ever now. The Industrial Revolution. That's been a thing since ever, right? So it's not a new concept, but the point is that it's an ever-growing concept. That the idea was originally to be, well, with capital equipment, machines, instead of having 10 workers, we just need one worker that can operate a machine that does the amount of work as 10 workers. But if the last element, that human element, is always there, you see, like even if you make a more efficient machine, like, okay, well, we need one worker to do 20 people's job now, and so on and so forth. And so there's less and less jobs, or at least less and less traditional jobs. But that last element, and that can't be eliminated, is the fact that, well, we always need humans. You're still going to need that human to operate the machines. Well, if you can create a machine that operates machines, then you really only need people who program and build machines left anymore. And then, of course, the next step is, building machines that builds machines. And that takes a left turn, in my opinion. I feel like a teacher who is like calling people up to show their projects. It was like young Elon. Thank you, Elon. Everybody give Elon a round of applause. And now I'm writing on a piece of paper grading his performance. All right, we have here this next video. This one's a bit interesting. Been on my list of to-dos for a minute now. It says, how robots could end animal captivity in zoos and marine parks just might work.
Like a real dolphin, but it's a robot.
Nobody believed it was a robot. Everybody believed it was real.
It's an impressive feat of engineering.
We fooled everyone. It wasn't even hard. We changed everyone's perception of reality with a toy.
But it's a much bigger deal than that. This robot could save the marine park industry and free the 3,000 dolphins, whales, and porpoises that are basically...
Bro, you're gonna have to show me a robot doing what that dolphin just did. Did y'all see that, dude? Those dolphins just jumped up like a freaking story, bro. Come on, bring this back one more time, bro. That was amazing.
And free the 3,000 dolphins.
I need to go see these dolphins in person, bro. That was amazing.
Whales and porpoises.
Look at this. Look at this. Look how high they are in the air, man. They're not jumping off the ground or anything. They don't have no ankles or knees, bro. They just swam that high in the air, bro. That's amazing.
That are basically
locked up. You can sugarcoat it, you can paint their tank, but they're literally locked up.
And that's the complicated problem with zoos and marine parks. On one hand, we lock up wild animals for our own entertainment.
Wow. That's the big issue. Oh, it's so sad, Animals are locked up in captivity. They've been imprisoned and, it's not their natural environment. But it's so fun to just look at them there. We love looking at... Really? That's what's stopping everybody from letting them free? And I've never agreed with zoos. I don't go to zoos today. Every time somebody hits me and is like, hey, do you want to go to the zoo? I'm like, no. Like, you do realize that you going to this zoo is basically promoting captivity of these animals. Like, you're giving them the money they need to continue to keep these animals locked up. If everybody just stops going to zoos, they're not going to do it anymore because they'll realize, hey, this isn't profitable. The zoos get shut down. Oh, but it's for the kids. I'm like, how many things in the world are y'all going to do, quote unquote, for the kids, even though you know it's wrong? Like, how long are we going to keep these charades up? It's not good for society. It's not good for you. It's not good for your kids. It's not good for their education. Like, why are you doing this? It's a weak excuse for the kids. Like, do something good for the kids and create a better future. Like, not locking animals up.
They provide the only venue for everyone to see and interact with the natural world, while also contributing
Except for the natural world. They could actually go into the natural world. And I'm not saying go to the jungle and chill out with tigers, but there are different, like, I don't want to call it a resort, but there's different services that you can attend and you can get an actual look out into real wildlife. You can go and see it. You know, that's where you should go. You shouldn't go to see a caged animal. You should go see an animal in its environment. I mean, how are you making the argument that, oh, this is where we see animals and we can learn about animals, we can, you know, interact with the animals to some degree? It's like, by putting them in a fake environment. Like, how is that immersive? How is that realistic? How is that expose you to the real world and to information more so than seeing an animal in its real habitat would? Like, seriously, you're making a very weak argument, and all for the purpose of entertainment.
This robot dolphin end animal captivity and be the future of marine parks. She thinks so. This is Just Might Work, a show about surprising solutions to our biggest problem.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't trust anybody who hangs out with dolphins all the time. Probably has a bunch of metaphors about how he compares life to water and stuff. Like, I don't want to trust this guy. You know, like, I'm glad he found the dolphin, because if he didn't, he'd probably start leading a cult or something. I just don't trust him. I don't know.
Back here we have our archives of all our aquatic animals we created. This is the inside of one of the sharks from Deep Blue Sea. Here are actually the swordfish from The Perfect Storm, as well as the shark that comes on board and grabs Mark Wahlberg. So this is the snake from Anaconda, the feature film Anaconda star.
Bro, that's freaking crazy. Like, honestly, that's pretty cool. Like, imagine going... I never even knew that was a robot. You guys probably knew that. I never knew that was a robot. That's insane to me. Dude, imagine, like, getting a tour of this area. It'd be amazing to see this in person. This is awesome.
Starring Jennifer Lopez.
Meet Walt Conti.
I'm the founder and CEO of Edge Innovations. We started our life as a Hollywood special effects company, building really sophisticated animatronics. Back here, this is actually the original mold from Free Willy.
Come on, Willie, I know you can do it, boy.
The kernel of our current initiative really did start with Free Willy.
Bro, you have to admit, like, as a movie, like, fan, what do they call them? Like, I don't know, just, like, film fans, right? Like, you'd be like a kid in a candy store seeing this right now, right? That's awesome. And I think it's also cool, though, that, like, this is a special effects group, and they're getting so good at this that, you know, they feel like not only can they fool you of what's reality or not in a movie, they can do it right in front of your face without adding any, like, you know, software special effects. They can just have the raw image in front of you, and they can still trick you. Like, that's how good they think they are at this, and apparently they are, because people didn't know the difference.
I have my dream job. I'm a vice president creative director at Walt Disney Imagineering. I pitched the idea of a next generation attraction for water parks. I reached out to Walt and said, do you think it would be possible to take your motion picture animals, create a new kind of Waldo control system and software, and use them as real-time animatronic figures?
I like how he just casually dropped the name. Yeah, I called up Walt. I'm like, really? Really? We're just gonna slide right by that. Okay, cool.
All of the fish in the entire aquarium believed the dolphin was real. The sharks avoided it, the turtles were terrified of it, the small fish schooled underneath it, but the dolphins can echolocate, so they certainly could tell there were servos and plastic in this thing in the tank.
Those early successes led them to the most important question.
Dude, that has to be freaking the other dolphins out, bro. Like, they're like, oh yeah, the other animals ran away from it. Yeah, all of them just swam away from it except for the small ones. I don't know, man. You even they said the sharks avoided it.
In the US, the ethics of marine parks
Tell me this doesn't look like something Kanye West would have orchestrated.
have been debated for a while. Exposés like Blackfish elevated the issue in the public consciousness. There were only a handful of marine parks left in the US.
Good. We're almost done. We're taking over. We're tearing them all down one by one. Why is it all in the South? Isn't that interesting, though? Because, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong about a lot here, so feel free. That's what the comment section's for. Have at it. I'm down to learn. This is, I like being wrong more than really anything. Trust me, most of the things that I'm right about are pretty depressing. Anyways, it's just interesting to me that, like, in the origination of America, and I know that seems like I'm going off topic here, but bear with me. In the origination of America, right, slavery was more so prevalent in the South, right? And it was the idea, or at least that I understood, that the North perceived themselves at least as being more dignified and more sophisticated and less of a brute than the South, right? And so they looked down upon some of the Southern practices. And it just seems like here we are again with this trend, again, even with animal captivity being wildlife parks or zoos, right? And here in the North, there's none, and in the South is where all of them are concentrated. I just find that very interesting that it seems that trend follows here yet again. Maybe there's other things that follows into as well. I'm not sure. I wonder what we're missing though. So like, if the South is more prevalent in these sorts of things, that the culture moving forward wants to demonize, right? And the North is sort of the demonizer, then what's the other side of that coin, right? So what is the North doing more so than the South?
Some limitations to the current iteration. It's attached to a wire for now and is controlled mostly by an operator. It's also expensive, but the numbers pay off over time. While this dolphin costs between $3 and $5 million to make, it's far more economical in the long run.
As it turns out, the cost of entry of animatronic animals is significantly more than buying their live counterparts. But over a 10-year lifespan, it saves many, many tens of millions of dollars.
So basically, it's an investment, not a purchase, and this is the selling point. He's saying that over time, it's less expensive than buying more dolphins and keeping more dolphins. I don't know how accurate that is, but this is what he's saying. He's saying that it's more economical. It's more economically viable and will lead to a more profitable company, assuming that their company doesn't lose sales from people knowing that it's a robot, of course. So maybe that'll be enough though, because I feel like money is kind of what runs most things. It's kind of what is the ultimate decider in most cases. It's like I said, capitalism pushing forward innovation. Whenever in the Elon Musk portion of the video, right? And if it makes dollars, it makes sense, and that's a huge influencer, and it pretty much all but sets in stone that this will become a reality. But that is looking at this situation in a vacuum and not really accounting for all other factors that could potentially alter the understanding of what this proposition turns out to be.
Well, we're thinking about version 3.0 of the dolphin, where Dell could just be in an aquarium for 8 to 10 hours on her own, swimming completely on AI.
What may be the most powerful feature of the
Has anybody else noticed how, like, a lot of companies, and this one now as well, a lot of these companies are betting on AI? And I'm not saying it's a bad bet. I'm just saying, what if it doesn't pan out like you think it will? Or what if it takes longer to iron out entirely than you think it will? And it seems like a lot of companies will be like, oh, well, just AI. And it just seems like that's their answer that they pull out of their sleeve. Like, yeah, we're just going to AI. And it's almost like it's a buzzword at this point. Like, how many people saying AI really know what they're talking about, really understands the progress that something like this is made, and how much progress can be expected to be made, and how useful it is, and how much can it be implemented now? And I'm not trying to downplay AI. I'm just saying, how much of what you're saying do you understand before you go around betting the outcome of your future or any of your projects and endeavors on, oh, well, we'll just throw AI on top of it? And it just seems like people keep doing that a lot. And so here we are again with AI, and that's supposed to be their next step, and how they plan to make what they're doing useful in the marketplace. It's just something to look at. I think a lot of people were betting on, and I mean, just imagine if AI is gone tomorrow, which won't happen. But just imagine if that were to happen. I think it drastically affects a lot of people.
We actually want to expand ways for people to fall in love with these animals, which at the core is really what the mission is and should be for all these marine parks.
If we can build a robot dolphin like this, then why not tigers that we can touch, or sharks we can actually swim with? Maybe even dinosaurs.
We'd love to bring back the Jurassic Sea.
Jurassic Park, let's go.
There is incredible marine life in the oceans hundreds of millions of years ago that disappeared. We live on a fragile planet, and we want to use that experience of recreating the past oceans to...
Hell, I'll take it a step further. Why just animals? Why not aliens? Why not props from movies and stuff? You know, why not make stuff from movies realistic? You know, we can get some aliens and monsters and stuff. We can make all this stuff real and make whole theme parks out of it or something else. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in to the 4th installment of Rain Reviews the Internet. We were just checking out robots. We wanted to see how far this thing has come, and I'm sure in 10 years this whole video will be completely expired and it will be laughable at the degree in which robots have come at this point. In the future, they'll have probably exponentially grown since then. Again, if you like the video, please like the video. That's what the like button is there for. If you want to see more content from me, then subscribe. You'll have access to all of these things. Hit the bell icon if you want to be notified of any of my future uploads. And thank you guys for watching. As always, I'll see you guys next time.
K.